All right, we're back here on the program talking some Predators. Just had Robbie Stanley, who covers the Preds for the NHL and NHL.com. Does great work with them, always around, and certainly knows his stuff, talking a little bit about the future there. It was also interesting to get the perception of the guys in the locker room that were a part of this run about what keyed them, what did not work, and what's ahead for this team. One of the guys that just had a tremendous playoffs is veteran center Mike Fisher. I think at 35 years of age now. It had been a while since he had been a star in the playoffs. It had been a dozen years since he last had an overtime game winner like he did in that triple overtime game in Game 4 against the Sharks. And as I heard one NHL expert describe it, it had been a while since people remembered that Mike Fisher was a really good NHL player. He just had kind of fallen off of the radar of a lot of people, but not in this playoff. In this playoff run, he was really good for the Predators. 5 goals. He was one of the leading scorers on the team throughout the entire thing. Obviously had maybe the biggest goal in franchise history to win Game 4 in triple overtime. We caught up with Mike Fisher the other day to talk about this run and where the Preds go from here.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still disappointing at this, at this stage, and might take a little bit of time to continue to look back, but I think we showed some really good signs. I mean, I look at the run and how much fun we had while it lasted. It was the city, the fans were unbelievable, and it was the character we showed. Minus the last game was really good, and we came back, we fought, and we gave it everything we had, and it just it wasn't enough. And hopefully we're not judged just based on the last game. So, but as a whole, I think you look back and there's a lot of things we can be proud of. And that being said, we didn't reach our goal, so there's obviously more I feel like that I could have done and the team could have done anytime you don't win. So.
How much is this further proof of just how hard it is to win the cup?
Well, I mean, I've been after it for a few decades, and it's elusive for sure, but it's very hard. And we feel like we got a really, really good team, and we're continuing to get better. And but yeah, that's why it's such a great trophy, because it's so hard, and it takes a lot to do it. So,
in what areas do you think this team still needs to get better at to get to that stage?
That's probably a question more for David, but I think you look at our goaltending in D, and it's pretty solid, and I think there's tweaks we can make up front to be better. And in any team, every year there's going to be a few guys leaving and things happen, and but it's always you're trying to find ways to get better. And I know that that'll happen this summer, and unfortunately some guys will leave, and other guys will come in, and hopefully we just continue to grow as a group and learn from the experience and the loss, and I think we gained valuable experience, and we can use that.
What encourages you the most about the younger core of this team? Of course, yourself and Pekka and Shea are the older guard, but players like Ryan, Johansson, and Phillip and Roman, those guys there step up, and what that could mean for the future.
I mean, they're huge parts of the team that have done a great job, and lots of guys came in and played really well and played well in the playoffs for us, and those guys are, through this experience, only going to get better and better, and to be a part of a run that was shorter than we'd hoped, but it definitely helps, and like I said, it's what we do with it in the future. So,
given all the miles that you logged in the playoffs, how much do you think fatigue had any role, or what sort of role do you think fatigue had in coming up just short against the Sharks?
I mean, we travel so much during the season, and yeah, we travel a lot more than other teams, but when it's the playoffs, you got to find a way to ways to get energy and mentally, I think as big as anything, in the playoffs is just being ready and mentally and we got some great Advocare products to get us rolling, so we're I had to throw that in there and. But there's lots of ways that we can get ready, and it wasn't ideal travel, no question. We're not, but that's not. I don't think that's a factor in a Game 7 when your back's against the wall, and that's no excuse.
Mike, you mentioned chasing the cup. You mentioned chasing that cup for a few decades now. Do you still feel physically, individually, that you can still keep taking a crack at this thing for a few more years?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, didn't have the season, honestly, I wanted to, the regular season, and but physically, my body, as far, I missed a little bit of time there in December, but other than that, I feel great. I feel really good, and I think excited about what's to come, and I think other than that, I felt great. So.
Mike, with the All-Star weekend and the success of this season, triple overtime in your home building, your 1,000th game, I'll could name about 15 different more. Is there a best moment of the season for you?
I think for me it's playoffs. It's home playoff games. You can't beat, and the way we fought at home and found ways to win, and and obviously winning that series in Anaheim, Game 7, and Pekka stood on his head. We was unbelievable, and those, to me, the whole season, the most exciting is the playoffs. And to see, when we went third overtime, when we went out through the Lexus Lounge, I'd never seen fans going crazy like that. I guess I had to open up the bar again, but man, they were. I'd never seen, and guys were like, "Holy cow!" Like we'd never seen fans go crazy like that, and that to me is like, the fans were so in it, and so many people around the city were behind us, and to have the city behind you like that is really a special feeling. So,
Mike, guys,
yeah,
jumps out in my mind. Do you personally have a best goal of the year? Like goal, not goals, but
yeah. Well, overtime for sure. It wasn't obviously through my legs or whatever. It was just banging a rebound. But for me, that was obviously special, and the way everyone fought that night. I was a recipient of a play. I was in the right place at the right time, but Pekka played unbelievable. Everyone battled. We were so tired. It was crazy after the game, but that whole experience as a team was fun, and then obviously when Arvidsson scored too, and those overtime are pretty cool. So.
The Predators over this playoff stretch. He was certainly a huge part of it, and he wants to come back and be a big part of things for the Preds moving forward, and they've got some interesting decisions. Obviously, Philip Forsberg going to be a big key to that up front. Do you add any other pieces? How busy will David Poile be in free agency? It'll be a fun summer to watch, but regardless of what they do this summer, a lot of the core of that team comes back next year. The defense is intact. You've got some stars up front now that give you an explosive offense for really the first time in franchise history. So a lot to be excited about if you are a Predators fan. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to move to football. The Titans with their rookie minicamp over the weekend, all 10 draft picks, but several other players in town over the weekend. We'll hear from head coach Mike Mularkey, maybe some other guys as well. So stay tuned. You're watching SportsLine here on News Channel 5+.